It was hard not to be swept away by despair. The fear of not being enough, of not being able to protect what she loved most, consumed her. But in the midst of the storm of emotions, a memory reached her. Philip's laughter as they painted together, the afternoons filled with colors and joy. Those moments were her truth, and she couldn't let doubt erase that. With a conscious effort, Anna remembered the conversation with Clara, where she had learned that failing was part of growth. She wanted Philip to grow up knowing that even in the face of difficulties, there was always a path of hope and growth. In the meetings she organized for other mothers, Anna had the chance to share her story and the challenges she faced. Each account, each tear, and each laugh were like pieces of a puzzle that, when put together, formed a picture of resilience and friendship. Anna asked Philip, who was sitting beside her with eyes shining with curiosity, if he remembered how it all began. He replied, "Of course, Mom. You were sad back then." His sincerity making her heart ache. "That's true, but I learned that sadness can teach us many things, and that sometimes we have to go through difficult moments to find the light," Anna said, looking into her son's eyes. It was as if the voices of doubt echoed, "What if you fail again?" She sat down and tried to take a deep breath, but anxiety enveloped her like a dense fog. The judge entered, and the murmur of the room fell silent. Anna felt a knot in her stomach as the opposing lawyer stood up to present his case. He spoke with confidence, and each word felt like a blow to her determination. She listened to the accusations, feeling as if she were being stripped bare in front of everyone. What really mattered was not the opinion of strangers, but the love she shared with her son. And in that moment she realized she was not alone. She was surrounded by an invisible network of support built throughout her journey. Finally, the judge asked her question, and Anna prepared to respond. With a firm voice, she said, "I believe that true strength lies in loving and being willing to change. I choose my son every day, and that choice is what motivates me to keep fighting." And as she looked to the future, Anna realized that even if life presented her with new challenges, she now had the inner strength necessary to face them. Returning home, the image of Philip awaited her with a radiant smile. He ran toward her, and as she hugged him, Anna finally felt she was where she was meant to be. The love she felt for him was more powerful than any adversity. And in that moment, with her heart full of hope and renewal, she realized that her journey was just beginning. Anna returned home with a pounding heart, a mix of relief and anxiety. The courtroom had been an emotional battleground, but she felt she had achieved something much greater than a simple victory in Philip's custody. As soon as she crossed the threshold, her son's bright smile made her worries seem small. Philip ran toward her, his arms open in a warm embrace. "You were amazing, Mommy," he exclaimed, his eyes shining with admiration. Anna locked herself in her room, surrounded by objects that belonged to Michael, and the pain of loss mingled with the anxiety of losing Philip. "I can't let this happen," she whispered to herself as tears streamed down. The custody battle was pushing her to a breaking point. That night, Anna dreamed of Michael. He watched her with a look that mixed love and disappointment. "You're not alone, Anna," he said, but the voice felt distant, like an echo. Philip's presence, which once warmed her, now made her feel like she was in a battlefield, and she began to question whether she could truly be the mother he deserved. Clara and Christopher's support was becoming increasingly vital, but also more complicated. While Clara tried to strengthen Anna, Christopher encouraged her to open up to new possibilities. In a difficult moment, Clara asked Anna if she was allowing herself to feel the pain of losing Michael. She didn't have all the answers, but she knew she was ready to face whatever came her way with an open heart and a mind eager to learn. Anna also realized that life was a constant evolution. Each day was a new opportunity to reinvent herself and learn from experiences. She committed herself to live according to the lessons she had learned, always seeking authenticity and connection with others. This new approach transformed her attitudes and choices, and she felt more aligned with her values. As she watched the sun set, Anna smiled, knowing that her journey was far from over. The future was uncertain, but she was ready to embrace it. And, more importantly, she knew she was not alone. With Philip by her side, with Clara's support, and with the strength she had found within herself, Anna was prepared to color each day with love, resilience, and gratitude. Life was a work in progress, and she was excited to see the new colors that were yet to come. The connection between them was palpable, and she felt that every word reflected the journey they had traveled together. "I like to see the sunset, but I like it even more, knowing that you are happy now," Philip said, with a smile that lit up his face. For him, his mother's happiness was something he always wanted to see. Anna smiled back, feeling a wave of love and pride. The strength she had found was not just for herself, but for her son as well. Guilt washed over her immediately, and tears streamed down her face as she sat next to Philip, who looked at her with a confused expression. "I'm sorry, my love. I shouldn't have done that," she murmured, wrapping him in a tight hug. "I'm trying to be a good mother, but sometimes it's hard." Philip looked at her with his innocent eyes and replied, "Mommy, I just want you to be happy. You don't have to worry so much." Those words resonated deeply with Anna. "Philip," she began with a firm voice, "no matter what happens, know that I will always be here for you. We are a team." "And I am your biggest fan, Mom," Philip said. And that supportive smile gave Anna the courage she needed. Now, more than ever, she felt ready to face whatever came. Life was a cycle of renewals, and with every new challenge, there was also the chance for a new beginning. Anna was not alone on this journey. She had friends, she had her son, and above all, she had herself. You say you learned from your mistakes, but what guarantees that you won't repeat those mistakes? How can we believe that you are the ideal mother for this child? His words were like daggers, and the room seemed to close in around her. Anna felt her heart race, and a wave of insecurity washed over her. Was it true? Had she really changed? Doubt attacked her, but then she remembered her paintings, the mornings when she allowed herself to be vulnerable and create. She found herself watching Philip as he played in the yard, his innocent laughter echoing in the air. The scene should have been comforting, but the fear of losing him enveloped her like a dense fog. What if he didn't want me anymore? What if his life with Elizabeth was better? These thoughts consumed her, leaving her exhausted. Meanwhile, Clara tried to cheer her up, taking her out and distracting her from her worries. But with each meeting, Anna felt that her friend was becoming a kind of anchor, pulling her down with conversations about the future. Clara, in her desire to help, often mentioned the possibility of a new life, a life of complete happiness. But those words, instead of encouraging her, made Anna feel even more lost. How can I think about happiness when I'm fighting for Philip? The tension escalated at Philip's school. The children, often innocently, asked about her family, and as she walked into the courtroom, she knew that regardless of what happened, she had already achieved an invaluable victory, that of accepting and loving herself. Anna watched as vibrant strokes of color spread across the canvas, each telling a story that was uniquely hers. In that moment, she was not just a mother, but an artist, a woman in search of her identity. Anna told Clara about her insecurities, about the feeling of not being enough, not just for Philip, but for herself. Clara listened attentively, and with each word, Anna felt she was freeing herself from a weight she had carried for a long time. "You don't need to be perfect, Anna. Just be yourself," Clara said, with a look full of empathy. That phrase resonated with Anna like an echo that could not be ignored. That same night, Clara called. Anna hesitated before answering, but Clara's friendly voice brought some comfort. "How are you, Anna? Was the outcome of the hearing what you expected?" The simple question made her feel vulnerable, and she hesitated to respond. I don't know. I feel that, despite everything, I'm still not who I want to be." "That's normal, you know. The struggle doesn't end with the hearing." "It's just the beginning," Clara replied, and her words echoed in Anna's mind. Anna hesitated, but when she looked at her friend, she realized the answer was no. What she did not realize was that by not allowing herself to feel, she was depriving herself of healing. The arguments between the two became more frequent, and Anna felt that she was losing the friend who had always supported her. "I can't deal with this, Clara," she shouted once, frustration overflowing. Clara looked at her with sadness, but also with determination. "You need to face this, Anna." She understood that happiness was found in the small things, in a tight hug, in a heartfelt conversation, in a spontaneous smile from Philip. These were the riches that truly mattered. Over time, Anna became wiser. She learned to see her mistakes as learning opportunities. Instead of criticizing herself, she allowed herself to be kind to herself. This new perspective helped her face challenges with a more positive attitude. With a light heart and a new perspective, she looked to the future and smiled. She was on a path of transformation, and she knew that no matter the challenges that lay ahead, she had the strength to overcome them. Life was a work in progress, and Anna was determined to color each day with love and resilience. Anna looked out the window, watching the sun set on the horizon. The golden light illuminated her room, and she felt a wave of gratitude. Philip's innocence was a balm for Anna's soul, but it also made her reflect. What did it mean to be an amazing mother? The doubt she thought she had left behind began to resurface. She stepped back a little, watching him as he settled onto the couch, playing with his new toys. What would happen in the future if he saw her flaws, her insecurities? The idea terrified her. Over time, Anna realized that the battle in the courtroom was not the only challenge she would face. Clara's words penetrated the fog of insecurity that surrounded Anna. Remember that every day is a new opportunity. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be true. These words echoed in Anna's mind throughout the week. She began to see her decisions in a new light. What once seemed a burden was now a chance for growth. She decided that she would not let doubt paralyze her. Instead, she would transform that anxiety into motivation. Each meeting was an opportunity for growth, and gradually, she felt part of a community that supported and encouraged her. The challenges had not disappeared, but the way Anna dealt with them had changed. Instead of feeling overwhelmed, she began to see difficulties as learning opportunities. When moments of doubt arose, she remembered Clara's words and her own journey. She was learning to be kind to herself. Anna spoke about the nights they spent together, the laughter they shared, and the moments when she simply held him, feeling that everything was right in the world. She looked at the judge and then at Elizabeth and saw the doubt in everyone's eyes. The emotional impact of her sincerity was palpable in the room. What had once been a battlefield was transforming into a space of vulnerability and love. When she finished, she felt she had freed herself from a burden. With Philip's support, who always showed understanding, Anna dedicated herself to creating a warm and stimulating environment at home. Together they began to paint again, filling the walls with vibrant colors. Each brushstroke became a reflection of their journey, a way to express their emotions. Philip, with his bright smile, became increasingly involved in the activities, and that warmed Anna's heart. One evening, while they were in the middle of a painting, Philip broke the silence. "What I want you to know is that no matter what happens, I will always be here for you." On the day of the hearing, Anna walked into the room with a newfound confidence. She had prepared not only to defend her case, but also to show the mother she was becoming. As she spoke, her voice was firm, and the words that came from her lips reflected all the growth she had experienced. At the end of the hearing, regardless of the outcome, Anna felt that she had achieved something much greater. She had learned to accept her flaws, to value her relationships, and to love herself genuinely. The courtroom was no longer a battlefield, but a testament to her journey of overcoming. When she finally walked out, Philip was waiting for her with a smile. "You were amazing, Mommy." He hugged her tightly, and Anna felt that in some way she had already won. She looked at her son, realizing that true victory lay in their love and the connection they had built together. "Every mistake is a learning opportunity," Clara said on a rainy afternoon as they sipped coffee. "You are becoming a new version of yourself, and that is something beautiful." Clara's words helped her see the light at the end of the tunnel. Anna started to view her flaws not as barriers but as stepping stones on her journey. With every small step she took, her self-confidence grew. Anna also noticed that the friendships she had cultivated throughout her life were deepening. Clara, who had always been there, became an even closer confidant. Together they shared not only joys but also fears and insecurities, creating a safe space for vulnerability. Anna felt that these connections helped her feel stronger, and this support network was becoming an essential part of her life. Each tear, each moment of doubt made her stronger. It was time to turn her pain into strength, and by doing so, she could finally be the mother that Philip deserved, and who knows, maybe also open her heart to the future that Christopher seemed to offer. Anna sat on the bed, wrapped in a cloak of loneliness and uncertainties. The morning light filtered through the window, but her internal shadows still followed her, oppressive and heavy. When difficulties arose, she remembered her journey and how each experience had helped her grow. Anna became an example of resilience and strength, not only for herself, but for everyone around her. With each passing day, Anna felt more at peace with her emotions. She had learned to accept her vulnerabilities and embrace her imperfections. Now, looking to the future, she saw a path filled with possibilities. Anna felt that she was connecting, that her words had weight. With one last surge of courage, she said, "I am a mother who is learning, and what I want is to be the best mother I can be. That means facing my fears and continuing to try, even when it's hard." There was silence in the room. Anna could feel Philip's gaze on her back, and that pushed her even more. She decided she could not let herself be brought down, and that was enough. Anna's story was a reminder that even in storms there is always a light shining on the horizon. Thus, she invited everyone to reflect on their own journeys. What obstacles have you overcome? What lessons have you learned? Share your experiences, and together let's build a network of support and love. Remember, every story matters, and your voice can be the light that illuminates someone's path. Don't forget to like and subscribe so that more stories like this can be told. Anna's honesty led her to a moment of genuine connection with Christopher. He encouraged her, saying that love and dedication were the best qualities a mother could have, and that she was already showing that to Philip. However, the fight for Philip's custody was becoming increasingly intense. Anna found herself in a courtroom, listening to Elizabeth's arguments, which she spoke with an eloquence that made Anna insecure. The way Elizabeth described her connection with Philip seemed so. She and Philip hugged, laughing and crying at the same time. Anna realized that despite her failures, she had achieved what she wanted most, the chance to be the mother she had always wanted to be. The interactions at home changed. Anna saw herself not just as a mother, but as a strong and resilient woman. She began to attend support groups for other mothers, where she shared her story and learned from the experiences of other women. The painting afternoons evolved into story and laughter nights, and every moment together was an opportunity to get to know each other even better. Philip, with his curious nature, inspired Anna to see the world through new eyes. He taught her the importance of living in the present and cherishing the small joys. Anna also dedicated herself to helping other mothers in her community. She began organizing meetings to share experiences and offer support. How could she compete with Philip's blood mother? Elizabeth's presence was a constant reminder that Philip's life had a story that did not include Anna. In her mind, the whirlwind of feelings intensified. What if Philip preferred to stay with her? What if she couldn't protect him? At school, Anna tried to integrate into Philip's new routine, but insecurity still accompanied her. Anna felt her heart tighten upon hearing the questions. Why doesn't Mum come to pick us up? Or, when will be the next time we see Mum? Each question was a cruel reminder that in Philip's eyes, she was still not the definitive mother figure. She struggled to respond with a smile, but inside, insecurity was eating away at her. In this moment of fragility, Christopher became an increasingly constant presence. He supported her, but also provoked a whirlwind of emotions. She had learned so much about herself and was ready to face the situation. The night before the trial, she sat with Philip, who was curious about what would happen. "Mommy, you're going to win, right?" he asked, hopeful. "I don't know, my love, but what matters is that I did my best." Philip nodded, and she realized that regardless of the outcome, she had already won in many ways. Anna looked at him, her eyes filled with love. "That I won't be able to be the mother that Philip deserves." Clara listened attentively and after a moment replied, "Anna, everyone fails. What matters is how you use those failures to grow. Remember that life is about new beginnings." Those words stayed with Anna. She began to see her flaws not as burdens, but as opportunities. With every mistake she made, she strived to learn something new. Elizabeth's gaze, filled with determination, was like a knife cutting into her slowly. How could she compete with a mother who had the right to give him a life story that Anna could not? With a heavy heart, Anna decided she needed to prepare better for the next hearing. Clara's words still echoed in her mind, but insecurity overwhelmed her. She knew that life was made up of ups and downs, and that each challenge brought with it a new opportunity for growth. What mattered was how we reacted to those challenges. If before she saw herself as an insecure woman, now she felt like a warrior. Remembering Clara's words, who always said that a woman's strength is revealed in difficulties, Anna decided that she would not let fear paralyze her. She stood up, determined to fight for what was right. Over time, Anna began to understand that her experiences, both good and bad, had shaped who she was. She allowed herself to look back without shame, recognizing that every mistake had brought her to this point. And, more importantly, she understood that the true richness of life was found in the small things: the laughter with Philip, the moments of vulnerability with Clara, and the courage to be authentic. Anna's journey had no end, but she was ready to face it with confidence. The love she felt for Philip grew stronger, and she knew that regardless of the outcome of the custody battle, she was becoming the mother he truly deserved. As the final hearing approached, Anna was more prepared than ever. She was not just fighting for Philip, but also for herself. That day, as she got ready to enter the courtroom, she looked in the mirror and saw a stronger, more confident woman. The friend encourages her, reminding her that love is what truly matters, and Anna wonders if she will be able to be the mother Philip deserves, even without biological ties. As Anna navigates these challenges, she begins to reflect on what family means. The connection that forms between her and Philip is deep, and she finds herself questioning what truly defines family ties. She remembered one particular meeting where a mother named Louisa shared the pain of feeling alone in the struggle for custody of her children. Anna had listened attentively, offering words of support that she herself had needed to hear in her moment of vulnerability. "You are not alone, Louisa. We all go through this, and we can help each other," Anna had said. And the look of relief on her friend's face had been the most valuable reward. As the story unfolds, it becomes clear that even amid pain and loss, true love always finds a way to prevail. Anna looked at the silent house that, although full of memories, felt like a labyrinth of loneliness. The smell of freshly brewed coffee could not dissipate the fog of sadness that had surrounded her since Michael's death. As she tried to focus on daily tasks, her mind often wandered to his diary, which now felt like an added weight on her heart. "You are already being a mother to him, Anna. The kindness you show, the care, that is what really matters." Anna felt a warmth in Clara's words, but still, the shadow of doubt did not completely dissipate. The arrival of Elizabeth, Philip's biological mother, brought a new avalanche of emotions. Anna felt her heart race upon receiving the news that Elizabeth wanted custody of the boy. What once seemed like a new chance at happiness was now turning into a struggle. What happens when love turns into an unexpected burden? This question lingers in the air as Anna, a 30-year-old woman, finds herself engulfed in an emotional whirlwind following the death of her husband, Michael. He left behind not only his absence, but also a diary that would reveal secrets that would forever change her life. Anna finds herself alone in a house that was once filled with laughter and love, now only echoes of the past. And so, Anna walked into the future, ready to face any challenge, with her heart full of love and hope. Anna was nervous as she walked toward the courthouse. The weight of uncertainty accompanied her, and her heart was racing, as if it wanted to escape her chest. The hearing was more than just a formality. It was the result of months of struggle, of internal and external battles that had shaped her. By her side, Philip held her hand, a small support that gave her courage. A year had passed since that day in court, and her life had changed in ways she never imagined. Reflecting on her journey, she realized how each step, each challenge, had shaped and strengthened her. In the beginning, Anna felt lost, as if she were trapped in a cycle of insecurity and doubt. The words of the opposing lawyer still echoed in her mind, but now they no longer affected her in the same way. The farm that Michael left for her is a constant reminder of his presence, but also a space where Anna begins to build a new future. The days are long and often lonely, but the moments with Philip bring joy to her heart. She imagines a future where they can be a true family despite the circumstances that brought them together. However, this new life is threatened when Elizabeth, Philip's biological mother, reappears, demanding custody of the boy. Clara, her longtime friend, was always by her side, sharing laughter and offering valuable advice. Together, they explored what it meant to be a mother, a woman, and a friend. This unusual friendship transformed into an unbreakable bond, and Anna felt she had a life partner she could count on at all times. Looking back, Anna realized that true success was not measured by material possessions, but by the relationship she had built and the love she shared. The friendship that formed there solidified over time, showing Anna that true strength lies in unity and the exchange of experiences. But, as life always brings surprises, an unexpected twist was about to happen. One day, while Anna was organizing one of the meetings, she received a phone call that made her heart race. It was the lawyer who had represented her in court, and his words left her speechless. "Anna, we need to talk." If she lost patience with Philip one day, the next day she tried to approach the situation more calmly. Instead of blaming herself, she asked, "What can I learn from this?" Over time, this shift in mindset made Anna feel lighter. On a sunny Sunday, while they walked in the park, she and Philip talked about their dreams. "Mommy, what do you want to be when you grow up?" he asked, with the characteristic innocence of childhood. Anna hesitated, but then replied, "I want to be an artist," genuine, while Anna struggled to express her love in words. Each hearing was a painful reminder that what she felt might not be enough. The pressure left her anxious, and the nights became long, filled with insomnia and worry. What if I lose? What if love isn't enough? One day, returning home after a hearing, Anna found Philip sitting in a corner of the living room, a drawing in his hands. The afternoons spent painting became a refuge, a space where her mind could wander freely, away from the worries that accompanied her. Beside her, Philip, with a wide smile, tried to mimic his mother's strokes, his small hands covered in paint. "Mommy, look, I'm making a sun," he exclaimed, proud of his creation. Anna turned, admiring the impromptu masterpiece her son had made. The sun was yellow and bright, with rays that seemed to dance on the canvas. A wave of joy washed over her. One morning, while having coffee, Clara, her longtime friend, visited her. Clara had always been a source of support and wisdom. Anna, with a distant look, began to vent. "I really wonder if I am capable. What if I fail again?" Clara listened attentively and replied, "Anna, you are not defined by your failures. What matters is what you do from them. You have already shown your strength by facing all this. You are an amazing mother, and Philip sees that. The fight for Philip's custody is not just a legal battle, but an opportunity for Anna to prove to herself that she can be the mother she has always dreamed of being." In the end, what Anna discovers is that life is a web of connections and choices. Each act of love and courage she takes leads her to a place of healing and hope. Through adversity, she becomes stronger and more resilient, and her love for Philip transforms her in ways she never could have imagined. She realized that Philip's happiness didn't depend on her being perfect, but rather on being authentic. The pressure she felt to be the ideal mother was pulling her away from what truly mattered, the love they shared. That night, while watching Philip's sleeping face, Anna made a silent promise to herself. She would work on her own happiness, not just for herself, but for her son. In the days that followed, Anna began to seek small ways to reconnect with herself. The future she dreamed of for herself and Philip was possible, and even though the fight was just beginning, she was willing to fight for them with all her heart. Anna sat at the kitchen table, the forgotten coffee cooling beside her. Philip's drawing was still on her mind, but the joy it brought was quickly overshadowed by a wave of worry. The battle for the boy's custody was intensifying, and each court hearing seemed like an even higher mountain to climb. The words written by Michael revealed a betrayal she never imagined he was capable of committing. A son, Philip, the result of that mistake, had been abandoned by his biological mother in an orphanage, and Michael, even after the betrayal, had dedicated himself to helping him. The revelation leaves her in shock. How can she love someone who is not part of her family? Driven by the love she still feels for Michael and her curiosity about the boy, Anna decides to adopt Philip. Instead of seeing herself as an imperfect mother, she began to recognize herself as a woman who had bravely fought for her child, who was not afraid to expose herself, and who was willing to grow with her flaws. With shared custody, Anna and Philip managed to build an even stronger bond. Their relationship became a safe space where both could be authentic. She knew she needed to face this battle not just as a mother, but as a woman who had transformed. When it was her turn to speak, Anna stood up. Her voice trembled, but she struggled to keep it steady. Looking at the judge, she saw a neutral expression, but also something more, a recognition, as if this woman were aware of the weight Anna carried. With a deep breath, she began to share her story, her fears, and her hopes. "I am not perfect," she said. "I have made mistakes." Upon waking, the weight of the dream made her feel more lost than ever. The struggle was not just about Philip, it was an internal fight to find her own identity and strength. Over time, the pressure began to manifest physically. Anna felt fatigue building up in her body, and insomnia became her constant companion. She became alarmed when one morning she had an anxiety attack upon realizing that she could no longer distinguish between what was real and the shadows of her fears. Each passing day seemed to bring a new wave of doubts, and the shadows in her mind began to manifest in unexpected ways. At night, when Philip was already sleeping, she would sit in the kitchen, a steaming cup of tea in her hands, wondering if she really had what it took to be a good mother. The image of Michael, her ex-husband, appeared in her mind, bringing forth memories of arguments and misunderstandings. She still felt guilty for not being able to save what had been her marriage. He looked up at her with a shy smile and said, "Look, Mommy." The drawing was a simple representation of a house with a bright sun and a garden full of flowers. Anna felt a wave of warmth fill her heart. It was the first time he called her Mommy. The doubts that tormented her began to dissipate momentarily as she knelt beside him. "It's beautiful, Philip. I love it." In that moment, she realized that love was blossoming between them, even amidst the uncertainties. Anna watched the sun bid farewell, its warm colors painting the sky orange and pink. It was a spectacle that always reminded her of the beauty of change. Over the past year, she had learned to value every nuance of her life, transforming difficulties into lessons and loneliness into deep connections. Looking back, she could clearly see the timeline that had led her to this moment of peace. She took a deep breath, feeling gratitude fill her heart. The love she felt for Philip was becoming a powerful force, a motivation to keep fighting even when doubt seemed insurmountable. As the days passed, Anna began to realize that her journey was not just about being a mother, but also about rediscovering herself and finding her own strength. She remembered what Clara had said, "Love is an act of courage." And with that in mind, Anna decided she would face her fears head-on. She would not allow the past to define her. What if I fail? What if Philip doesn't understand that I love him? These questions tormented her as she reviewed documents at her desk, trying to find a way to express her love and intentions. However, the words seemed to slip away from her like water through her fingers. In the days that followed, Anna began to feel increasingly isolated. The weight of responsibility on her shoulders was becoming oppressive. "I am not perfect, and I cannot promise that I will always have the answers," she began, her voice trembling, but firm. "But I love Philip with all my heart. I am fighting for him because he deserves to have a mother who is present, who supports him in all his adventures, and who loves him unconditionally." The words began to flow from her heart. What would happen if she failed again? What would happen if Philip looked at her with disappointment? Those thoughts tormented her, but at the same time, there was a small spark of determination growing inside her. The pain she felt for Michael, although still fresh, could be transformed into strength. That afternoon, Anna decided to seek out Clara. She needed support, but also understanding. The conversation started hesitantly, but soon turned into a catharsis. But in her mind, a voice whispered that maybe that mother wasn't her. Anna stood up and looked in the mirror. The reflection she saw was not just that of a woman fighting for love, but of someone who was in deep crisis. The tired face, the swollen eyes from crying, and the disillusioned expression reflected her internal struggle. The idea of facing her demons began to solidify in her mind. However, the pressure of the next hearing loomed over her like a dark cloud. During the nights that followed, she wrote letters to Philip, describing her love for him, her hopes and dreams. Each letter was a release of her pain, an affirmation that she was capable of offering something valuable. The day of the hearing arrived, and Anna was nervous but determined. She sat in the courtroom, her heart beating fast, as Elizabeth prepared to present her witnesses. "It's beautiful, my love," she replied, enveloping him in a warm hug. These simple moments, where they could both be creative together, helped Anna realize that true happiness didn't come from being perfect, but from being authentic. With each shared laugh and every color they mixed, Anna felt more free from her insecurities. It was as if, by painting, she was also coloring her life with new perspectives. "Mommy, you know I love you, right?" The simple comment made Anna stop. She looked into her son's eyes and felt a wave of emotion. "I love you too, my love. I will always love you." In that moment, she realized that true success did not come from external recognition, but from the bond she had built with Philip. After a few weeks, the court's decision finally arrived. Anna was nervous but also hopeful. When she received the news that she had obtained shared custody, a cry of joy escaped her lips. With each gathering, she noticed the positive impact her words had on the other women. They felt understood and encouraged to face their own challenges. Anna realized that her story of overcoming could be a source of inspiration. Through conversations and exchanges of experiences, she found a purpose that made her feel more connected to the world around her. The friendships she cultivated during this time became fundamental to her life. The light and sincere conversation with her son made her realize that even though insecurities still existed, she could choose how to deal with them. The confidence she was starting to build didn't depend on what others thought, but on how she saw herself. As she delved deeper into her journey of self-discovery, Anna also began to reflect on her flaws. In a conversation with Clara, she shared her concerns. "Sometimes I feel like I'm going to fail again." Tears rolled down her face, but they were tears of relief. She had found her voice, and in that moment she understood that true success was not in winning custody, but in being true to herself. She didn't need to be perfect, she needed to be authentic. After the hearing, as she walked out of the courtroom, Anna felt a wave of lightness. Regardless of the outcome, she had found herself again. The fight for Philip's custody was not just a battle for his custody, but a journey of self-discovery. She still battled the inner voice that reminded her of her past mistakes. One day, while looking at a photo of Michael on her phone, a whirlwind of emotions washed over her. She missed what had been, but also knew she couldn't go back. This internal struggle led her to confront her memories, and in a candid conversation with Clara, she began to understand that it was possible to accept her past and still look to the future with hope. You are not defined by your failures, Anna. Together, we are stronger. Claro, por favor, forneça o texto que você gostaria que eu traduzisse. Clara's words echoed in her mind. Anna began to understand that motherhood wasn't about perfection, but about acceptance and unconditional love. She was learning to forgive herself for her fears and to accept that, even in the midst of a storm, love could be the anchor that kept her steady. As she navigated the emotional chaos of her new life, Anna also felt divided when it came to Christopher. They made her realize that the journey of self-discovery would be long and full of challenges. You have to be kind to yourself. No one expects you to be perfect. After the conversation, Anna felt a little lighter, but doubt still haunted her. She began to notice how her insecurities affected her relationship with Philip. He needed a mother who not only loved him, but also believed in herself. On a particularly difficult day, she found herself yelling at him for a trivial reason. Philip's father has filed a motion to revise custody, he said in his serious tone. Anna's world crumbled in an instant. All her accomplishments, all the joyful moments, and the bonds she had built seemed threatened. The insecurities she had overcome began to resurface, and the fear of losing what she had fought so hard to achieve consumed her. She felt as if she were back in that day in court when everything seemed uncertain. "No, it can't be," she murmured, her voice choked. Anna felt smaller and smaller, as if she were being swallowed by a black hole of insecurity and doubt. When it was her turn to speak, she hesitated. Her voice faltered as she tried to describe the love she felt for Philip, and tears began to slide down her face. "I just want to do what's best for him," she murmured. But the room was filled with critical gazes, and she could feel doubt hanging in the air. Despair attacked her after that hearing. Anna realizes that she will have to fight not only for Philip, but also for her own right to be a mother. Anna's interactions with the neighbors reveal a bit of her personality. She is kind but determined, willing to help those in need, but harboring a broken heart inside. In a moment of vulnerability, she confesses to a friend about her insecurities regarding Philip. The connection between them was intensifying, but Anna hesitated to take a step forward. One day, while they were walking together, Christopher looked her in the eyes and asked, "Do you really believe you are doing what's best for Philip?" The question caught her off guard. She wasn't sure if she was. The weight of her uncertainty almost knocked her down. "What if I'm doing everything wrong?" Her voice was low, heavy with emotion. Christopher's response was gentle but firm. "You're trying. I am not perfect, but I am dedicated. Every day is a new opportunity to do better, and I am willing to fight for it." The lawyer continued to press her, but Anna was now focused. She thought of all the lessons she had learned, the nights she had questioned her worth, and the unconditional love she felt for Philip. It was time to stop apologizing for her failures and start asserting herself. The judge, who had seemed distant until then, began to pay more attention. She realized that she had been too hard on herself, trying to fit into a mold that was not hers. The pursuit of perfection was pulling her away from what really mattered, the love she had for Philip. With this new clarity, Anna began to prepare for the hearing. Not just to fight for custody, but to show herself as the mother that Philip deserved. She reviewed her documents but now focused on how to express her feelings instead of worrying about what others would think. During a parents' meeting, she met Christopher, a longtime friend who had always had a special affection for her. He greeted her with a warm smile, but Anna noticed a shadow of concern in his gaze. "How are you coping with all of this?" he asked, and his voice made her feel a mix of comfort and vulnerability. Anna hesitated before answering, the words feeling heavy in her mouth. "I'm trying, but I don't know if I'm the right mother for him." Tears began to slip down her face, but as she looked at Philip, who was beside her, she had an epiphany. He looked at her, concerned. "Mom, what happened?" he asked. "I just need a moment, my love," Anna replied, trying to gather the strength she had. She knew she needed to face this new battle, not just for herself, but for Philip as well. That night, as she prepared for bed, Anna reflected on everything she had learned. That's already an important step. But Anna didn't feel that way. For her, trying wasn't enough. The fear of not being a suitable mother consumed her, and the idea of opening up to Christopher became increasingly distant. The next hearing brought a new challenge. Elizabeth brought witnesses who spoke about her bond with Philip, and the way she mentioned moments from his childhood made Anna's heart ache. It was as if every word she spoke was a silent accusation. She signed up for a painting class, something she had always wanted to do, but had set aside due to the responsibilities of motherhood and the stress of the legal battle. Painting became therapy for her, a way to express her emotions and find a space for creativity that had been stifled for so long. With every brushstroke, she felt some of the pressure dissipate, as if she were releasing not only her insecurities, but also her true essence.
"And I also want to be the best mother I can be." Philip looked at her with an expression of admiration. "You're already an artist, Mommy, and I think you're an amazing mom." Those words touched Anna's heart. She realized that true success was not just in external achievements, but in the connections she had built with her son. And the happiness she felt by his side was the greatest success she could achieve. The final hearing was approaching, and Anna felt a mix of anxiety and determination.
But what I learned from them is that every failure taught me to be better, not just as a mother, but as a person. Philip is the light of my life, and I do my best every day to be the mother he deserves. Her voice began to gain strength, and she saw Philip smile at her, a smile that seemed to make everything worth it. But the opposing lawyer was not willing to let her defense be that easy. He stood up with a challenging look. "The pain of loss is devastating, but it is the discovery of an unacknowledged son that leads her on a journey of self-discovery and resilience." After Michael's death, Anna tries to cope with the loneliness that envelops her like a heavy cloak. She spends hours gazing at his photos on the wall, remembering happy moments, but also the fragility of life. The day she opened the diary became a turning point. When she finished, she felt a wave of relief. Regardless of the outcome, she had revealed herself. And for a brief moment, the room felt filled with hope, as if everyone had connected to her truth. Anna knew that no matter what happened, she had found her inner strength and was ready to face any challenge that life presented her. Anna left the courtroom feeling a weight lifted, but uncertainty still lingered in her heart. Christopher helps her see the light amid the darkness, but Anna struggles with the fear of repeating the mistakes of the past. Can she open her heart again? Anna's story is a journey of self-discovery and growth. As she faces the ghosts of her past, she learns to embrace the present and fight for the future she desires for herself and for Philip. The maternal love that blossoms in her heart becomes the force that drives her to confront the challenges that arise in her path. You can't run forever. That night, as she looked at the starry sky through the window, Anna realized that the fight for Philip's custody was only part of her journey. She needed to face her own demons, understand her pain, and let it flow. Slowly, she began to understand that in order to be the mother Philip needed, she also needed to reconnect with herself. With the new day, a spark of determination began to shine within her. Anna decided that she would no longer hide from her feelings. The battle for Philip's custody felt like a storm that never left her in peace. Each hearing, each judging gaze made her feel smaller, as if she were trapped in an endless cycle of guilt and doubt. Now, more than ever, she needed to face the truth of her emotions. The sight of Philip playing in the yard, so happy and carefree, was a constant reminder of what was at stake. He deserved a strong mother, a mother who could fight for him without hesitation. He was the reason for everything, and that reminded her of what truly mattered. When she entered the room, the atmosphere felt oppressive. The walls were cold, and the faces of the people around her were serious. Anna felt the pressure rise. It was a battlefield, and for a moment, the memories of her past failures haunted her. The times she had felt powerless and inadequate surged in her mind, an avalanche of insecurities. One afternoon, while cleaning the brushes, Philip asked, "Mommy, why did you start painting?" The question caught Anna off guard, but she decided to be honest. "I've always loved painting, but I was afraid I wouldn't be good enough. Now I realize that what matters is having fun and expressing how I feel." Philip looked at her with curiosity. "And you're having fun, right?" He smiled, and Anna couldn't help but smile back. "Yes, very much," she replied, feeling a warmth in her heart. The changes in Anna began to affect Philip in unexpected ways. He saw her having fun while painting, and gradually he began to take an interest in art as well. They started spending more time together in this new activity, creating a stronger bond. Anna remembered Clara's words and the joy she felt watching Philip smile as he explored painting was a priceless reward. But Anna's journey of self-discovery was not without challenges. What would happen now? She had exposed herself, shared her truths, and faced her insecurities. Philip's look, filled with admiration, reminded her that no matter the outcome, she had given her best. In the days that followed, life went on. Anna tried to distract herself with the routine, but the memories of the hearing still haunted her. The opposing lawyer's words echoed in her mind. "How can we believe that you are the ideal mother?" Despite the answer she had given, doubt still pursued her. In her mind, the echo of questions tormented her. What if I fail? What if he doesn't accept me? Anna sought support from her friend Clara, a strong-spirited woman who always encouraged her to find the light even in the darkest situations. During a sunny afternoon, as they sat in the small patio of the house, Anna vented her insecurities. Clara, with her gentle voice, reminded her that love is not measured by blood ties, but by the choices we make. Is it genetics or the love and sacrifices we make for those we love? This introspection leads Anna to understand that life is made up of choices and that each decision shapes her as a person. The presence of Christopher, a man from her past, who resurfaces in her life, brings a new dimension of emotions. He has always been around, but Anna never considered the possibility of starting over with him. Now she finds herself torn between the love she used to feel and the need to move on. He was always around, offering support and friendship, but the memories of Michael prevented her from opening up completely. The growing tension between them left her confused. How can I love again? What if I get hurt again? These questions haunted her, and at times she found herself reluctant to let him back into her heart. Anna's struggle for Philip was just beginning, and every obstacle she faced led her to a place of growth. Anna knew that Elizabeth's words could be convincing, but instead of letting that bring her down, she decided to use it as motivation. She was not there just to compete, but to show the truth of her love. When it was her turn to speak, Anna stood up with a mix of fear and determination. She looked at Philip sitting in the back, his small face lit up by innocence, and that propelled her. The moment she sees the boy for the first time, her heart fills with a love she didn't know was possible for someone she didn't know. Looking at Philip, she sees not only the similarities to Michael, but also the fragility and struggle of the boy for a better life. He has health issues that require constant care, and Anna dedicates herself to taking care of him, even as she tries to discover who she really is after the loss of her husband. Life in the countryside is a challenge. The first time she looked at Philip, a 6-year-old boy, it was as if a door opened in her chest. He had the same blue eyes as Michael, filled with a mix of curiosity and fear. But at the same time, she felt a chill in her stomach. How could she love someone who was, at the same time, a constant reminder of her late husband's betrayal? This doubt haunted her in the early days after the adoption. She wondered if she was capable of being the mother Philip deserved.